The moment has arrived.
I pushed the button. It's going to work.
This is going to be scary good, man.
I'm sorry?
We're killing it. It's Maddie Levine with my good friend David Cushing. Welcome to the Fight Banana Show.
The ruthless one, Elle Dawson.
Hey, guys.
Our girl, Gillian, the Savage Robertson.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Welcome to the Fight Banana Show. 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Fight Bananas.
That's how you start a show. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fight Bananas Show. Dave Van Auken here. To my left. Yeah, to my left. The ruthless one, Elle Dawson. Elle, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. I was, pulling a single shift all alone, solo shift all weekend. Happy to have Dave back.
Morning, bro. You've been killing it. All your thoughts are probably out there for UFC 308. I got all my stuff in my brain. I cannot wait. So
we're just here to hear what Dave thinks now. I'm not even going to talk today, guys.
Should be a fun show. Also, absolutely stacked. Look at the bottom line here, guys. We're going to recap UFC 308. We got a huge UFC Edmonton show, fight night this weekend. Randy Costa, Game Bread Bare Knuckle main event happening November 15th, 115, 130, undefeated, 15-0. Devin Cushing, boxing superstar, won this past weekend in Island Fights. The last time we're going to hear with Gillian the Savage Robertson after we hear when she wins and she does the ritual and talks to us after our win, which I'll be doing a live watch along for that fight, by the way, Elle Dawson. Just there you go. 2 weeks from now. And then last guest, Julia Budd, never talked to her before in the show. 2:20 East Coast time. 4 guests. Elle and I take you on a magical journey through MMA this week. That's what we're going to do.
Magical journey. Love it.
Hey, stay off those gummies, all right? Stay off of them. First and foremost, let's kind of start where we should. UFC 308 officially in the books. Incredible show during the day, mega pay-per-view. Laron Murphy and Megaman Ankalaev, so many big wins, but of course, the co-main event, Chimaev runs through Bobby Knuckles Whitaker, and then Ilia Topuria knocks out Max Holloway to retain.
Still in shock.
Shock. Are you in shock though?
I'm still recovering.
Okay, recover, because that's what I thought it was going to happen. Like I thought he was knocked out.
I didn't think it was going to be like that though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm shook. It's wild. It's wild to me.
And I think this is being overlooked so far, and this is my first question for you, Ella, and we'll just lead into multiple topics of what we just saw. Were you more shocked about Chimaev running through Robert Whitaker in the first round, 2-3 minutes into the fight, or Ilia finally catching Max in the third round and knocking him out?
It's not that he caught Max. It's how Max looked before that. I felt like, what's up, Julian? Welcome. I felt like if he beat Max the way he beat him, we were going to see Max struggle to find his range the entire fight. And I feel like Max was looking really good. And that's why I'm like,
very good.
Man, like I thought he was starting to run away with the fight. Like I felt like the first round, Ilia did really well. Max had a hard time kind of landing as much. He didn't look like he was as fast as Ilia. And then we started to find Max Holloway find his range. And once that happened, I was like, oh, like this is a Max Holloway fight. This is what we're used to,
right?
Like he's got this. He's going to keep chipping away, or they're going to have a really, really close 5-round fight is what I was expecting once I saw that from Max.
Right.
And then, man, Ilia, the power that he carries at 145, he changed the tide of the fight like that. And I was really impressed, just very impressed with him. Also unbelievably impressed with Chimaev, to be completely honest. I definitely thought that Whitaker was going to be a guy that could, really expose him. Obviously I was wrong, but also just his overall just fight IQ, I guess is what I'm trying to look at. His fight IQ overall and the way he fought Robert Whitaker, a guy as dangerous as Robert Whitaker. I think we saw him take this a little bit more seriously than we've seen him take in the past.
I agree on a lot of what you just said there. One, first and foremost, I think we talked about it last week, and then we made a really cool post about it when we had Bo Nickel on the show. And I've been adamant about it. Like I said, I probably talk about it too much. My fandom of your husband Grant and Gillian, and I don't think it's any disrespect at all, but like I don't see him as specialists, but there's past to victory, high percentage victory with both fighters. Is that right, El? Like,
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
They have a recipe. Like, hey, if Grant does what he wants to do, he's going to stop you in 4 minutes. Same thing with Gillian. Like, there's a recipe of how they want to win, and I love that. I think it's underrated to be Kayla Harrison, Chimaev. Like, Chimaev is going. There's a post. He literally shot his last 4 fights: 3 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 13 seconds. Like, he shot. It's coming. Every fighter knows it's coming. You just can't stop it, and he's going to do it. And then he's so strong. He's not even going to rear naked choke you. He's going to neck crank you and crack your jaw and teeth, L. It's like, we've never seen anything like it. Like, imagine if, like, I just think it's so crazy. Think of another sport, basketball or football, and I know it's not your specialty, L, but imagine me telling another team what I'm going to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, L, we're gonna fight.
Well, there's a reason why you can't look at other teams' playbooks, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a huge scandal if you get your hands on somebody else's playbook. Like,
yeah, I just think it's so crazy that you know what's going to happen. Same thing with the Ilya thing. Like, I don't think Ilya changed a lot. I know he wrestled him a little bit in the first. I know he kind of took him down, but like that wasn't his game plan. I think he did it to say, hey, Max, you better watch out for this because I can do this to you, but I am going to box you. Like, we are going to box. I thought Max was getting great calf kicks throughout the all 3 rounds. Again, like you said, I had Ilya winning the fight because I thought the more damageable big shots, but I thought Max was looking good. Like, if you wanted to say 1-1.
Very close.
Yeah, like, it was very close.
I could have easily, what round? It was the 3rd?
Yep.
It was the 3rd. So I think I had it 1-1 going into the 3rd, and I felt like Max was starting to look better and better throughout the 3rd round as well. But I could have seen Ilya being up 2 rounds and then Max winning very closely 3, 4, and 5, or Ilya winning very closely. You know, Max wins 2, Ilya wins 3. But yeah, I don't. There's something about Max Holloway getting knocked out. Like, we've seen Robert Whittaker get beat for sure. We've seen Max get beat, but just the way it happened, we were talking about this on Sunday on the Morning Brew, and everybody in the comment section was just like, man, a changing of the guard. And I got to admit, I'm here for it. As beloved as Bobby Knuckles and Max Holloway are to fans, like, I'm just so stoked that there's all this new blood in these divisions where we've had the same handful of guys hanging out at the top for years and years and years. So I'm stoked to see it change hands, you know?
I do agree. I do. The one thing that I'm kind of there's so much more I want to get into about it, but we're just you said changing the guard and just like lightning in my head that I didn't love. I didn't like how they brought Volkanovski, and he beyond deserves it. Like, I get it. He does. Like, I understand. Dana said he's like,
well, we don't want to see it.
Yeah. He's like, I've called him. He always answered. He short notice against a tougher guy, different weight class. Doesn't matter. He always said yes. And he felt like he owes him this or owes him one. And I do, like I said, I get it. I get it, El. I just don't want to see it. Like, I saw it once.
A question mark over here, Dave. Can you see this? Can y'all see my screen? How do I make myself big? Do I just click on it?
I can do it. You want it big?
Yeah, make me big. All right, guys. See this here in the corner? This is our matchup whiteboard. This was a suggestion from somebody on Sunday. So it's happening. We're committed. The only one with a question mark is Ilya versus Volk 2. Do we know it's probably happening? Yes. Do we really want to see it happen? Probably not. I would much rather that this not be here and say Diego Lopez in Spain. That is what the fight should be. Like, that's what I want to see. It really is. I think it might have been Sean's idea. I honestly can't remember. So
Sean's like the dark horse MVP of the show. So we love Sean Sterling. Ilya, they fought already. To me, Ilya is only getting better, more in his prime, and more confident. He just knocked out Max Holloway. And Volk, no offense, it just you usually don't grace with older and after being knocked out. Like Ilya's going this and Volk's going like this, and we already saw them, and he knocked him out in the first round. It's only more of a mismatch. Like I just don't like it. Don't like it.
No, I agree. I think this is 100% what's happening, Sean. UFC 312 is in Sydney. They've already said they're going back to Australia, February of 2025. We know that's where this is. So obviously it makes sense for the biggest Australian superstar to be on that card, which we all know is Volkanovski. So yes, Volk is almost definitely fighting Ilya on 312. But what it should be is it should be Spain with Diego Lopez. Because do I 100% think that Ilya Topuria will knock out Diego Lopez if they fight? Yes, I 100% believe that. However, if he doesn't and Diego pulls that off, they have set up another immediate matchup with Movsar Evloev, who everybody's been vying for a shot at the title as well. So it's just, there's so many more interesting things that could happen if we see Ilya Topuria fight Diego Lopez in Spain rather than Volkanovski in Australia. Why are you shaking your head at me, Dave?
It's not happening at 312. I will guarantee it right now. It is October 29th, 2 days before Halloween. Big Halloween party at the Van Auken House, by the way. Shout out. 2 days before Halloween. I guarantee that fight's not happening at 312. No way on earth. Ilya does look at his career. He doesn't come back quickly. And I don't know if you saw, like he had the BMF title around this thing, but you had a man up. He had those crutches walking around. Dude, Max got to him. Max got to his calves. Ilya is not fighting in February. That's a Powhatan turnaround. He's not doing it. Not doing it.
And if not, then what do we do with Volkanovski? Because it makes so much sense to put him on that card.
No, yeah, he's on the card. I want Volk and Diego Lopez for the right to fight Ilya in.
Okay, here's my beef with that. Is we run into the same thing we ran into with Max Holloway, where we have a really hot contender and somebody that is very capable of ending that hot contender's win streak and preventing them. And then we end up in the same situation where we were before, except instead of Volkanovski beating Max a million times, we'll have Ilya with the title, who's already beaten Volk and Max. And then Diego Lopez can't get through Volkanovski or Max to get to Ilya. And I think I just think that's a bad idea. I think we need to do,
I love it.
Maybe you do winner of, they don't want Movsar or Aljamain Sterling to fight for a featherweight title. That's pretty clear. You know, the UFC has their favorites. Winner of that fight maybe gets Volk in February. I know
we'll put this topic on ice because I got some stuff to come back on. But for one, 3 major comments, and we have our first guest in the green room. I'm not going to make this guy wait in. I don't want him to punch me in the face. I'm going to see him in Biloxi in a couple weeks. So first of all, I'm probably the most happiest when my kids do something good and my fight bananas, they go, hey, L and crew. I became the crew. I love that so much. I'm so happy. L Dawson is the
Dave is and crew. I'm going to get you a shirt that says and crew.
I love it. A little off topic. L killed it on the solo watch along. We made it 308 better. And already, how many people won cards? We had 6 people win cards. I sent 4 of them out already. I got sent out 2 more cards. So if you think you want a card, message Fight Bananas or myself. There you go. Ortega, Holloway, 155. It's not bad. But all right, like I said, first guest in the green room. Not going to make him wait any longer. Fighting November 15th. We're getting close, guys. Like I said, Halloween's around the corner. That means November 15th is even closer. I just got that call yesterday about flying and hotel reservations. Can't wait to be in Biloxi myself. November 15th, Game Red Bare Knuckle main event. Brandon Michael Davis versus this man back on the show, Randy Costa. I pushed the button. I think I pushed it.
What's up, guys?
My man.
How you guys doing?
Where are you and why do you look so cold?
Because it's fucking freezing up here, dude. I'm just walking around the woods because if I stay home, I'll either sleep or eat. So I gotta stay out of the house. So I just come walk around the woods. Yeah.
Dude, look at that beanie, bro.
Yeah.
You need that Florida weather in your life.
What's that?
I can't believe I didn't wear my shirt. I got the Randy Costa shirt. I wore it like last week for another show, but I forgot to wear it on this show. Look at me.
It looks slick too, Dave, if I do say so myself.
My bad.
It looks like you need some of that Florida weather in your life, Randy.
Dude, I need some sun, dude. I need some Biloxi weather.
Biloxi, let's go, man, dude. We talked to you 3 weeks ago, kind of not the, when stuff really got out there and stuff is pushing. I've seen Jorge Masvidal promoted a lot. I was out there. I was lucky enough to be in Pensacola. There's already buzz. People are asking me questions about it. I love it. I'm like so pumped. What's the, 3 weeks since we talked? How it's been the 3 weeks, and are you kind of getting into that mode? Are you seeing it other places and platforms, and are you getting that buzz that at least I'm getting?
Yeah, dude. I mean, definitely, it's crazy that it's here. It's like we teleported to this, like we time traveled to it. It's weird, dude. But I'm super pumped, and like this camp has been like a million weeks long, but it's been a million great weeks, dude. And I feel like I've got a cheat code right now. I feel so good. I can't wait to compete, dude. It's gonna be fucking sick. Obviously, Brandon's a savage. He's gonna show up there. It's gonna be a great fight. Dude, this is going to be crazy. And I don't even think, like, Brandon and I don't have crazy name recognition, but you tune into that fight, dude. It's going to be fucking nuts, man. It's going to be nuts. I can't wait for it.
And you spoke on it. This is the longest camp ever. I do feel like we have been talking about this fight for months, like 3 months now.
Since my pro debut, I've been talking about this fight. What the fuck?
Do you feel like you like the long camp? Do you feel like it starts to wear on you after a while? Like, how do you feel about having this much time?
Dude, honestly, so after the last fight, I went away. And, I wasn't always good at this in my career, but I have a great balance, in my life now outside of fighting. I have things outside of fighting that I love. And I think going on, a little break after the last fight, dude, I don't feel burnt out at all. I've really been in camp since I got back in March. And I'm not sick of it. I'm loving training every day. I'm loving every part of it every single day. And this is probably the first fight of my career where I'm El, you've fought. So you know what the nerves are, you know what the anxiety is. I'm separated from that. I'm excited to perform. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm not nervous or oh fuck, I'm excited. And it's the first time in my career. And I think it's this is the best mind space I've been in going into a fight. And I think it's because I finally have some balance in my life, dude. It's crazy. I can't wait. It's going to be so sick.
I love that. No, that's so important. And I think not enough fighters speak on that. You can't just have this. And a lot of fighters talk about retirement, how terrifying that is. I think the fact that you have some life balance now means that you're preparing for a wonderful rest of your life too, Not
even that, dude. I feel especially people that are earlier in their careers, because I know I made this mistake where I was dead set on, the acronym, the UFC acronym, and then once I lost it, I was forced to detach from that and what I thought I was I thought I was just Randy the fighter. I didn't have I lost my identity almost. So losing all of that has forced me to detach, and I found I guess my life. And it's just crazy because I'm having so much fucking fun now, dude. It's crazy. And I feel like that's a lesson to be learned. And if I could help or advise any other person that's earlier in their career, well, yes, it's extremely important to be gung-ho crazy about this thing, but it's also extremely important to take care of yourself, to do something that you want to do and that you love, because fighting doesn't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I love that, Randy. And I'm going to go right back to you. You're the star of this, but I do want to triple down on something you just said. Myself and Fight Bananas, what has been offered that acronym, those 3 letters in some way of works. And like I said, I'm not going to go all in it, but we've been offered that. But if we took that, then that would mean there would be no talking to Randy Costa today. It's hey, you work under them. That's all you can talk about is this, their platforms, nothing else. And also their content. You almost belong to them. And there's nothing wrong with it, dude. I love the UFC. I'm one of those people too. I love it. I watch it every weekend. Huge fan. I make money by watching the UFC. I love it. So I'm not trying to come off a hater, but I do love this freedom that kind of going back to what you said, when you don't have it, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. I can talk to whoever I want to and be whatever I want to. And there's something amazing about it. And back to you about it, it's seems like you're just absolute free. And hey, if it happens again and they want Randy Costa, maybe I do it, maybe not. But right now, it's not about that. It's just about being free, fighting, loving life, living life. So many people get so worried about this destination, and life is happening right now. We're living right now. We're having the best times of our lives right now. And I think people get so crazy about that acronym.
Yeah. And like what to double down, I guess, on what you're saying, like people are so focused on the destination, but like the destination is the journey. Like that's the part that's where like the magic is. It's crazy. Like, but yeah, dude, I feel like a lot of people, myself included, have just like almost lost their entire identity chasing whatever you call this dream of, and like losing yourself along the way. And when you do that and then you find like more to your life, like everything gets so much better. And that's where I feel like I'm at right now. And I can't like, I'm excited for November 15th. It's going to be nuts, dude. It's going to be stupid.
And I got one more, and L take it away after me. And I know what you want, the verdict, the outcome, the resolution on that night, November 15th. I'm going to wear all black. I got this new black sports coat I'm going to wear, and you probably want to see me in the ring with a microphone. You're going to have the championship. That's probably what you want. But regardless of anything that happens, any outcomes that happen that night, the one thing I can just say this and be blunt about it, like you will have Dean Toole is so high on you, and the Game Bread crew is so high on Randy Costa. Regardless of that night, they already want you back for the January show, then the spring show, and then the summer show. They do want to go to the Northeast sooner or later and have you guys headlining shows like that.
Yeah,
like, it's got to be great to have, I feel, at least like a brand or a promotion behind you instead of you just being a part of the machine, if that makes sense.
Yeah, dude, definitely. And I feel like, I mean, we've spoke about this before. Like, I feel like if you want like a fan-friendly bare knuckle style, I feel like I'm walking around with it. I feel like I have that style. Like it's like, dude, I'm not gonna go out there and have a fucking dumbass feeling out process. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna fight right when they say fight. Like they're gonna say fight, and me and Brandon are gonna be fighting like at the 3-second mark. It's gonna be a crazy fight, and that's a fact. And I feel like not. Like, especially mainstream MMA media now, and while all that stuff is super effective, it's not the most fan friendly. I know, like, win, lose, or draw, like my style is fan friendly, period. Like, you know, like that's it. And I think that Game Bread recognizes that, and I also recognize that, and I throw caution into the wind, and I kind of give everybody what they want, I guess.
Yeah, and I know we asked you so many questions specifically about this fight just a couple of weeks ago. So I guess I kind of want to hear what your thoughts have been on the fights that have been going on lately, because a lot has been happening in the MMA community. Are you still as big of a fan of the sport as you once were before you got really into bare knuckle MMA? Like, do you still tune in to watch the UFC every week?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm also a fan of really good post-fight interviews. Shout out your husband. That was fucking awesome. But yeah, dude, I mean, of course, like my love for watching the game, I'm a super fan. Like I watch like the cards. Like I watch all the cards, but it's definitely like some of it's really fucking boring. Like the lay and pray, or like just cuddle or squeaking out wins. Like that's super boring. And obviously it's effective, and obviously they're winning. And that's might be a style that beats me. I'm not like rashing it. I'm just saying, as a fan, it's not the most fan-friendly style. And I don't know. There has to be like, I don't know. They have to like. Do you remember that fight a couple weeks ago where like they clinched for like 3 seconds? The guy was like reffing a kickboxing fight. Do you remember that fight? Like in the UFC, he would clinch it for like 3 seconds and they'd split. Like he kept splitting them and splitting them.
Yeah. I do.
That's a bit much, but I see like, that's definitely a bit much. But I feel like there needs to be like more. You need to like do more. Like you can't just squeak out and win by position. Like you need to go and fight. And I feel like a lot of guys are like straying away from that and just doing what they need to do to win. But it's also a double-edged sword, because we get our pay system is show win. So like it's a double. You can like
if you fight high risk and you lose,
who do you blame? Yeah, it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Like what side needs to be fixed first? Like it's hard, dude. But I mean, I'm still gonna watch every card.
So you tuned in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, did you watch Max and Ilya? I would assume one of the biggest fights of the year. To me, was one of them. That was the fight. It's Randy Costa and Brandon Davis won. Max Holloway, Ilya was 2. It was my second biggest fight of the year. Ilya knocks him out. Were you kind of like the MMA masses, kind of Ilya's a stud, but like everyone loves Max. Everyone loves Max. Were you bummed like what we were?
Yeah, I think everyone like broke a piece of their heart that watching that. Because I mean because it's not like he went down like gracefully. Like he kind of got fucked up. Like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, and nobody's been able to do that to him. And it's just like that dude Ilya is a monster. He's like what 27 years old, and he's
27.
Not
you know
even
what I mean?
close to peak.
And he's right. He's not even close to peak, and he's doing this. Like it's who beats him at featherweight? I don't see any. I mean, maybe Diego Lopez gives him a problem. Who?
Age, like 32.
Oh yeah. Father Time is undefeated.
That's it.
He's gonna keep on getting bigger. And, sometimes too, you mentally kind of maybe check out, he wins a couple more big main events. Maybe he's money and whatever happens. Like, just imagine talking to someone when Conor McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo, right? And be like, hey, guys, like 10 years from now, he's not going to fight anymore. He's going to be like a puppet, like a talksman for like bare knuckle FC. We would be like, what? No. So, like, weird shit happens in combat sports. You just never know.
So Sean had threw the comment up there, the curse of the BMF. So as a fan, you said as a fight fan, you want to see bangers. What are your thoughts on the BMF? Because people are calling for us to retire it after all 3 BMFs have all been knocked out after winning the belt. 4.
Yeah, and I feel like the BMF thing it's not a division. Like I think you need to be a BM. Like it all started with Masvidal and Diaz. Like those guys are BMFs. Like, and then it was what Dustin and Justin.
Yeah.
Right. Was BMFs. But like, and then you have Ilya Taporia in a suit and a rose in his pocket. Is that guy the BMF?
No.
And I mean that respectfully. With like BMF. Like if we're talking BMF, like it's not a division. It's like who's the baddest motherfucker. And I feel like there needs to be like a dress code, maybe. I don't know.
There's not nearly enough tap out shirts here for the BMF.
Or Affliction or like funky pants or something.
Those white shirts with the black wings, they were fire. They were everything.
Ed Hardy, like some Ed Hardy wearing.
I'm so glad we've left that era of MMA in the past.
Dude, now what you want to do, get the best shirts. You get the Zohan shirt. Randy, where can you get your shirt at, brother?
Oh, my website. What is it? The link's in my bio on my Instagram. I think it's randycosta.store. Yeah, peep it. I appreciate it.
I'm going to pull it up. Yeah. I'm going to pull up a picture. I haven't seen the shirt yet.
Oh, dude. I was wearing it all last week. I wore like 3 days in a row, El. So comfortable.
3 days in a row.
Costa. Oh, here we go.
I think it's .store.
Randy Costa, the Zohan shirt. Violent shirt? Is that right? No.
There's nothing violent about me, dude. Come on, I'm not selling shirts with violent on them.
Randy Costa .store. Let's see. Is that it?
Man,
there we go. Okay, somebody might be.
You got
that might be been a scam site.
Damn, we got a scam site for Randy Costa.
All right, I got it pulled up.
Real.
That's actually a real thing. No, that is a real thing. Y'all should be aware of. Like, there are these scam sites that are they're like copying a fighter apparel, and then they're like making fake Facebook and Instagram accounts as the fighter, messaging their friends list and trying to sell like fake shirts.
I see that going around up here in the Northeast too. It's funny that it's made its way down there.
All right, let me share my screen so everybody can see these.
Make sure you got nothing. No dumpster trucks on that screen.
Never. Oh, I didn't bring it in here. No, Grant ordered me a dump truck.
Where is it?
On Amazon.
Dude,
what do you mean ordered you? What
do
you mean?
It in my room. It's in the bedroom.
Yes.
All right. Look at that. That looks pretty cool.
That's fire.
It's pretty cool.
I like
my
it.
artist. His name's Ryan Jones. He's in Taunton. He's a tattoo artist. He's the man, and I think he crushed this. And I think he made it like completely on brand, especially the logo.
I love it. The sunglasses, everything. It looks freaking fantastic.
The broken tooth, dude. The broken tooth.
I got to zoom in on this. Hang on. How do I do that?
Dang, look at that model with the shirt.
Come on.
Boom. That's awesome. I love it. Yes.
It's the best. It's the best. Like I said.
RandyCosta.store, guys. Don't Google it.
Thank you.
Do what I did. You'll get scammed.
Thank you.
Last thing for you, my man. Last thing on the fight. Like I said, we're a couple weeks out. We got Halloween coming up, and then it's one more week, and then we all travel. We all get to Biloxi. We do the thing. Like I said, I just talked to the boys about the press conference, and we're starting to get some details. fight weeks, you know this more than all of us, Randy. They happen so fast and so quick. And I always hear all the fighters tell me it was a blur. Like we've been talking about this fight for 5 months, and then all of a sudden that week comes and it's a blur. Are you okay with it being a blur, or are you going to try to do something, be like, hey, I'm the main event fighting for the first ever of this championship. Am I going to try to do something to slow that week down?
No, man, because the time flies like when you're in that moment. Like that's what makes it fly. So, dude, make it fucking zip, dude. I'm taking it all in. It's gonna be so fucking fun, dude. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like the week you're obviously super there and super locked in and all those things. But then like after the fight, that's when like all the details start popping up. Like, oh shit, like this really just happened. Like that was actually like super crazy, and I'm trying not to think of any of that. I'm trying not even to worry about it. It's just like I'm trying not to make it any kind of big deal or anything at all. I'm just kind of gonna go and hang out in Biloxi and then meet Brandon on Friday night, and that's it. And like I'm excited for the whole week. The whole week, man, is gonna be it's always so much fun. It should be an easy weight cut. Yeah. Good vibes all week. Good music. Just chilling with the boys. It's gonna be sick, man. I can't wait.
Cannot wait. Anything left for Randy, man? This is probably going to be the last time we're going to talk to him until fight week. We'll do a lot of stuff with him. We're not exactly sure what's going to be going down, but a lot of stuff. Like I said, I want to play some games and let's have some fun. We'll do chilling. I think it's at the same place. I think we're all staying at the same place we stayed last time. That Starbucks right down the on the lobby. So
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, anything else, El?
No, man. Just best of luck to you. I'm bummed I won't be there in person, but I absolutely cannot wait to watch this fight.
I appreciate that.
Hey, El, make sure you buy the pay-per-view, okay? No, it's going to be free on YouTube at the Game Bread Bare Knuckle MMA YouTube page. Guys, Randy Costa, Brandon Davis, November 15th. Make sure you watch it or be there in Biloxi. Randy, appreciate you. Appreciate your time. We'll talk soon, brother.
Appreciate the love, guys. Have an awesome afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, you too, brother. Later. Randy Costa. Dude. What a stud.
Gotta love him. Oh, I feel like we've literally been talking about this fight for half the year. So
I know.
I was like, has he still not fought? Like, has it still not happened? But no, it's coming up. Finally, just a couple of weeks.
The worst part is I've known about the fight for a month before it was even coming out there. So like, I feel like I've known about this fight for 7 months.
Dang.
Crazy. But dude, I'm starting to get giddy. Island fights just happened this past weekend. I was there doing commentary, doing some fun stuff for them. And I'm not even joking about a ton of people were coming up to me like, guys, Game Bread Bare Knuckles happening in a couple weeks. Like that vibe is really pushing strong right now.
PFL should take a note from Dean Toole because they have just started promoting the finals.
Finals for what?
For this tournament.
Oh.
They have just started talking about the finals of their season that we've known about.
You have the fight poster? Can you bring that up?
Yeah, I'll find it.
It's on the Fight Bananas IG. If you don't follow it, Fight Bananas Official on IG. Just posted it last night.
I never get on Instagram on my computer. I guess I could. No, I can't find it. Okay.
All right. Let me go back real quick. We were finishing up with Diego and Volk, right? About 312. And I kind of want to put a bow on that. The reason why I'm really fine with them doing the matchup, and most of the time I agree with you too, because I do get what you're saying. You don't want Max Holloway. You don't want Volk to do what Max did and stop Arnold Allen, Yair Rodriguez, so many guys like that. So I totally get what you're saying. The point is that I like about it is if Ilya's not going to fight for 8 months, 7 months, I would dislike that now both guys have to sit for 8 months. Both of them have been sitting already, Volk and Lopez. So that's even longer. Then also only one of those guys can get the fight. So then the other one needs to fight someone else. It's just like.
Then you have Diego Lopez fight another contender. The worst thing you can do is
he can't go backwards. Lopez just beat Brian Ortega. White Rice smashed him.
Let me pull up the rankings.
He can't go backwards.
But if you at least put somebody else in that position that could fight for the title that isn't Volkanovski, you won't run into the same thing. Like,
can I shout out Built Bars?
Huh?
Built Puff Bars.
Oh, you have the cookie dough puff ones? I have those too.
Yeah, 10% off. Use promo code 0517 Fight Bananas. There you go. 10% off the code.
The puff. Oh my gosh.
It's insane.
It literally tastes like a marshmallow.
It's a candy bar.
It's so good.
So healthy for you. Protein, built bars, 10% off. Are you looking up the rankings?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the Dakota Ditchova poster?
I couldn't find it on Google.
Oh.
I don't have Instagram on my
computer. Maybe PFL never posted it.
Oh. Did they not?
I don't know. I don't think I should be eating.
I thought I saw something, but maybe I didn't. You'd think they'd be promoting it by now. Dean, I'm just saying, Dean Toole's been making sure we knew Brandon Davis and Randy Costa were fighting each other for the last half of the year.
This thing is so good.
So good. What is the inside? Show them the inside of the cookie dough one. It's just like a marshmallow.
So it's cookie dough chunk, guys. Literally real cookie dough. Look in the middle.
It's like a gooey marshmallow. It looks so good.
It's
the best consistency. All right. In Dave's scenario, if Volk beat Lopez, Lopez could still fight winner of Sterling versus Movsar 2 to see who the contender is after Volk. But then people will be so upset that Volk isn't getting another rematch.
No. Volk shouldn't get the immediate rematch. Me and you, I think, are in agreement on it. That should not be the fight. But I respect them. I respect Volk if he gets it. If Volk beats Diego Lopez, then it's like, okay, Volk, go get it. You deserve it. Go after it.
I guess, but then we have to but then you run the risk of what if Diego Lopez loses to Movsar or Aljo, which is
then
very
he shouldn't have fought for the championship.
But that the UFC doesn't do it that way. If they did it that way, we might have never seen Sean O'Malley fight for a belt. And that's true. So
two totally different things. Those are two totally different things.
I don't think so. I think it's very similar. Very similar. I think it's a bad idea. If Volk gets knocked out in February at home, will he retire? I don't know. So we were talking to Randy a little bit ago about retirement and having the right mindset and all that. And the fighter that always comes to mind when I'm talking about fighters that are afraid to retire is Alexander Volkanovski. He's got a fantastic personality. He's a great dude, clearly loves his family, but he has spoken so many times about how empty he feels when he doesn't have a fight. And that is terrifying. That is a terrifying feeling for an athlete to have when they're getting close to retirement age. I don't know. I don't know if he's one of those guys that ever retires.
We have so much to talk about. Devin Cushing haven't came in, so that's actually more than fine. But can I get on a pet peeve real quick before I get into my MMA stuff?
Am I your pet peeve, Dave?
Absolutely not. You are a ray of light every single time. Every time my phone rings and it's L. Dawson on my phone, I get butterflies of happiness. I'm like, let's go, L. I can't wait to talk to you. So that definitely not you. Pet peeve. Do you guys have Instagram that you guys are following people and sometimes you're not following people for whatever? Sometimes I use it a lot for work, right? I have a person that keeps on unfollowing me and then following me. And I think what I get out of it is they want me to notice that that they're following me and want me to follow back. And I'm not going to I'm almost not doing it off principle now.
Off principle, we're not
of
doing
course. It. Am I wrong on this?
No, it's annoying. Okay. Now, I don't know why we're talking about it right now, but I agree.
Sorry. It's just in my brain. All right. No, okay, guys. Back on topic.
I did not think that's where we were going.
Real quick. So Ilya knocks out Max Holloway. I'm going to ask you, El. I appreciate you. Respect your opinion. Value your opinion. And I want to know if it's right or wrong. Who is the fighter of 2024? There's the right answer.
It's still Poatan. It's still Poatan.
There we go. That's the right answer.
I understand the argument for Ilya, but
absolutely
Alex has saved too many cards.
Yes.
He deserves it.
Exactly. I made a video about it earlier today, and now I feel like I can talk about it more in long term because in TikTok you got 58 seconds. So, guys, Ilya, if you want to say Ilya, I understand, I respect it, and I hear you. His two wins this year, El, you ready? I think they're the two best wins of the year. He has them both, not one. He has both of the best wins. there's been great wins. Dricus du Plessis becomes a champion, beats whatever. There's great wins across the board. Ilya has the 2 best. So if you want to say,
I agree.
If you want to say Ilya, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but the right answer is Alex Poatan Pereira. And the main reason why, and Elle used the word kind of close to a word, I used it today during my thing, is circumstances. Guys, my number one analogy, if everyone has a main road in their town, in their city, a main road, if you drive 55 miles an hour in that city, in that main road, you're okay. But if you drive 55 miles an hour on the highway, you get a ticket for driving too slow. If you drive 55 miles per hour in a school zone, you get a ticket for driving too fast and endangering kids, okay? So circumstances leads to what resolutions are. Alex Pereira saved the pay-per-view landscape, UFC, 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The main event of the biggest card in our history was UFC 300. Who was the main event? It was Poatan. He saved us, okay? Then UFC 303, finally we're going to see Conor McGregor fight. It was going to be Conor and Chandler, and that was going to be the thing.
I told you so.
Elle Dawson was right. I was wrong, and now I'm on the other. I'm on Team L on that one. Conor's never fighting again.
Never fighting again.
Anyways, it happens. Who do they call? Who's in Australia injured? Poatan. He goes, I'll do it. Who do you want me to fight? The most dangerous samurai guy that you already knocked out. That's horrible. You never want to do that again. He goes, yep, I'll fight him. Knocks him out. And then a couple minutes later, and people, this is the inside scoop story. 308 was going to be Makhachev and Arman in Abu Dhabi. Makhachev was hurt, banged up, couldn't do it. So they're like, hey, we need 308 to be a mega main event. It's in Abu Dhabi. They put Max and Ilya over there. So now 307, guys, we were going to have Rocky Pennington and Juliana Pena our main event. Like, that was going to happen. Alex saved us.
Guys.
He saved us again, fought the number 8 ranked murderer kickboxer who no one wants to fight in a stand-up war, and stands up with him the whole time and beats him in one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. Poatan saved us. He is the answer.
No, I don't disagree. I'm still not sure how the highway analogy applied to this, but
circumstances. He wins it not because of his 3 wins. It's how he got those 3 wins. Why? Circumstances.
Still, it was a bit of a.
Was it a stretch?
Did you hurt your back reaching for that one?
Wow.
In like 2 minutes, by the way, I have to go let in the HVAC guy because our AC is not working. But just so you know, I'm going to run away in like 2 minutes.
Okay. One last question then for you, and maybe you can answer, and then I'll take it. Dave was the original hater.
You were the original hater. You hated so hard on the Khalil matchup, and I told you Khalil Roundtree was tougher than you thought.
No. My thing, guys, I didn't hate the matchup. I disliked that Roundtree got the title fight. Like, it was one of the weakest roads to get a championship fight. And Grant Dawson's done a better road than Roundtree.
Well, yeah, that's because heavyweight's not nearly as tough as lightweight.
So just because you're in a bad division, you should have a horrible way to the championship?
You still hated on it. It was a good fight. Was it not a great fight? Did Khalil Roundtree not put up a great
One of the best fights of the year. I loved it. Loved it. So I should say I was wrong?
No, you're fine. Sean wants you to say you were wrong.
All right, Sean Sterling, I was wrong. Okay? Hand to God, I was wrong. Unbelievable. All right. Guys, in the co-main event, we saw Chimaev win again. That's all he does is win and stop people. He's amazing.
And then disappear for a year. And then win and disappear for a year.
With that being said, my question is, they were getting together, Sean Strickland and DDP, for the middleweight championship. Should Chimaev skip the line? Should they strike while this iron's hot and go with Chimaev and DDP right now? Should he skip Sean Strickland now?
How do I make myself big again? Is it the 3 dots? I'll just let you do it. Added to the whiteboard, Chimaev versus DDP by special request of Dave Van Auken. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like, this Sean Strickland DDP fight was pretty terrible in my opinion, to be completely honest. And it's not that. It's kind of funny because Sean Strickland is not a super exciting fighter. I like him. I like his personality, and I think his personality is entertaining. But if we actually watch his fights, most of them are not that exciting. Like, he's a pretty boring fighter for someone who never wrestles. So it's and then DDP can be difficult to watch too. I didn't love watching that fight. I know a lot of people did. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I did not enjoy watching DDP and Sean Strickland fight each other for 5 rounds. I would rather watch DDP fight Chimaev.
Me
to
too.
be completely honest.
Me too.
Because one of two things is going to happen. Either Chimaev's going to get him down in the first round, and the rest of the fight is going to go accordingly, or DDP is going to, he's just going to run into, or Chimaev's just going to run into something wild that DDP does. And DDP, sorry, I thought I had my do not disturb on. For some reason, my phone is
it's
like,
me, I think.
No, that's my computer, but I have do not disturb on. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, I have to go let the AC guy in. That's what it is. Okay. But sorry. Or DDP is going to stop the first shot from Chimaev, and we're actually going to see what happens when Chimaev can't wrestle somebody. And I don't think that's what's going to happen necessarily, but it could, because DDP is big, strong, and can wrestle pretty decently. But I'm way more interested in watching that matchup than watching Sean Strickland and DDP try to jab each other for 25 minutes again. Dave, you for 2 minutes. I'll be back.
All right, there we go. L. Dawson. Guys, I what Elle said and more, I talked about it pre this, and I'll go more on it. There's just certain guys in certain weight classes, in certain circumstances, like I used earlier with the Poatan. Poatan maybe didn't deserve the match against Izzy when he got it, but there was a history there and a reason why he got it. Maybe Sugar Sean O'Malley didn't deserve the championship match, but there's it's life. And anyone that doesn't agree with that, or that's just real life. I could go right now to a restaurant and get something quicker than others because of whatever happens, or friendships or something in the past. That's just real life. That's America. That's business. That's all that. Chimaev is a rocket. Like, he is. It's crazy that he was the co-main event. I think maybe they're worried about him holding the card. I get that to a certain extent. I just think he's so box office. He's so big. And he's so mysterious. We've seen DDP and Strickland. That fight's there. That fight's always there. And Strickland can fight Izzy. Like, I almost like that. That can be a rematch of a number 1 contendership, or they can just put Strickland on ice for a little bit. That happens sometimes too. What's up, John? I think Chimaev should just once a year, once every 2 years, this kind of stuff happens. Chimaev should skip the line and fight Dreykus for the championship. I think that's how they should go. What's up, El? Thanks, John. Dude, John killed it, by the way, for Island Fights. Your volume. You're on mute.
Still muted. Sorry. Did we address Sean's comment?
No, I didn't.
Apparently, he says he can. He says he has traveled. He has been traveling, and he has a trip scheduled to the States this year. So,
El, remember, you said that to me off air, so I doubled down on it. I made one phone call. He trained 6 months ago in Las Vegas at Extreme Couture. I heard some. I got some good insights.
Just rumors. Just rumors.
So, I just think it's not that he can't. He just doesn't want to. Like, that's.
Well, I understand it. Like, it's more travel. The dude's had a ton of health problems, and it's very. And if we haven't even talked about this yet,
look at that.
Very biased. The very biased judging that took place at the beginning of the card in Saudi Arabia. Like, if I were Russian and Muslim, I'd want to fight there too. You know, like I'm for it. I'm for it. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But so I understand it. It's his home country or home. It's his home territory, not his home country, but it's his home territory. It's closer. He doesn't have to travel as far. There's a lot of reasons Grant doesn't want to fight in Australia. Gets taxed twice, has to travel way further. It's definitely a disadvantage for somebody to fly halfway across the world to fight, you know? But I do agree with this.
Australia.
Yeah, we don't want Khamzat to be like Islam, a champ who can only fight. I don't think Islam's been as inactive as people. Like he hasn't been as active as Poatan by any means, but I don't think he's been too bad, has he?
Islam just has a certain, the date that he's fighting. Like
Right.
those Abu Dhabi shows are twice a year, and they try to put him on those shows. One in the spring, one in the fall.
Yeah. I mean, they make sense. And like when they do a show over there, they actually sell out arenas, which is insane. And because the people who live in surrounding countries and all over Europe will fly to Abu Dhabi to watch these UFC events. So it's
you have a picture of what it looked like for the PFL?
I have a picture of both. So okay. let's start with the UFC. Let's start with the UFC. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Present. Share screen. All right. It's going to look weird for a second because I'm going to. No, do the thing. Oh, I hate when it does this. It won't share my screen. Hang on. Okay. Window. All right. Let's look at this. So this is the crowd.
Wow.
From Etihad in Saudi Arabia this weekend. All right.
I don't see one seat.
I don't see one seat either. It is pretty loaded. All right. Now let's switch this up. This is a picture that was sent to me. Ooh. I was told. So the quality of the photo is not as good.
So was this at the PFL Super Fights?
This is at the PFL Super Fights, and I was told that this was right after the co-main event, right before
after the co-main event.
So this is right before Francis and Renan Ferreira, the biggest fight according to PFL that they have ever put on.
Yeah.
Here is what we're looking at. Oh, how do I share this? Oh, okay, I found it. Boom, boom, boom. Window, messages, share. You know, for some reason, it will not let me open with preview. Maybe if I do that. Sorry. Go. Here we go. Let's try this. Present, share screen, window, preview. Yeah, it keeps saying unlock this screen by selecting the lock in the bottom left corner. Where? Where is there a lock? Oh, go to system preferences. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's not wanting to help me. Okay, I'm going to put it on my phone and I'm just going to hold it up so you can try and see it, but you're probably not going to be able to see it as well. Because this is a wild difference, guys.
This is ribbon in podcasting, by the way.
All right. You see this?
Wow.
Do you see all these empty seats up here?
And that's even like in the first section.
That's the only section. There isn't any upper section. Like, look, there's no seats up here. This is just this is blocked off. Like this is only all the seats they had in the arena, and they couldn't fill them up. Like you can't see this very well, but like there's maybe like 5 to 10 people scattered throughout each section. Like it's a.
Wait a second, can you turn your phone sideways?
Enlarge. Okay, sorry, guys. I really had this all planned out. It was going to be really cool, but
wow!
Like the little like the little white patches here. Yeah, those are people. The black is empty seats.
Wow!
Empty seats.
Man. Oh, who sent you that?
Don't worry about it. Someone who was there. Don't you worry about it.
Dude,
No,
Elle Dawson's becoming, you're the new Ariel Helwani. You're getting all the scoops. Dude.
No, it's wild. And I was like, I have to see that next to the Etihad Arena and see what that looks like. And it's insane. Like, it is an insane difference. Just one more time, real quick, for reference. We're comparing that to this. This is the show that Don Davis said would not even touch the PFL Battle of the Giants.
Wow. I guess it was a super fight between Ilya and Max.
That's insane. It's an insane difference. But it's nuts to me that people will fly that far for a UFC event. Like,
getting all the scoops. Elle, when is Dustin Poirier going to fight again?
I don't know. He's been tweeting some things, so he's been active on social media. Okay. Dave, why do you do this to me?
Dude, is Drakkar Close is fighting in Tampa.
I saw that. Yeah.
Maybe Grant needs to drive down the road. Be like, bro,
just be there just in case.
Yeah, you never know, dude. Start working out the abs. You don't have to. Doesn't have to train. Just ab it up.
I think Drakkar Close is matched up. Who else is matched up? I've heard that maybe Beneil might be matched up.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe Jalen Turner is the guy. Grant's been asking about that fight for a long time. So maybe that's the fight that happens.
Wow, big fight. Maybe on the same card as Dustin when he fights.
Dave.
I'm just saying it could be. I'm just saying. All right, dude. Jillian.
Dave's like, someday I'm going to let something slip. I will not.
Dude, you will never let anything slip. You're a vault, Elle. That's what we love about you. Elle Dawson.
I'm really
dump truck and a vault all in one. All right.
Moving
on. Dude, so by the way, I'm going to do a watch along for Jillian's fight. She doesn't fight this week. UFC Edmonton. By the way, great card. Have you looked at this weekend's card? It's awesome. So good.
Oh, yeah. It's killer. Honestly, the UFC's been crushing it on the matchmaking lately.
Yeah. They're pretty good at it.
I feel like we'd be better, but that's okay.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm super excited for Moreno and Albazi. I know Albazi can be boring, but I don't think I've ever seen a boring Brandon Moreno fight ever in my life.
Well, the person that is about to join into the show. Last time we're going to talk to her until we talk next Saturday night after she gets a first round stoppage and she comes on the show to celebrate with us like always. The one and only, hair is looking marvelous, by the way. I'm trying to push buttons so I don't mess this up. The one and only Jillian the Savage Robertson.
What is up?
Hello. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I think we talked about it last week. I was a little bit excited. Still on that same wave, weight cut's going great. We're 10 days out now. So I'm like, I'm honestly just like in an ideal spot right now.
Your opponent picked red?
Gosh. Tell me about it. So, apparently, the UFC texted me that they're like, your opponent picked red, so you have to pick black or white. And then I texted them back. I was like, I didn't even know Brazil could pick red. And they replied to me, they're like, Brazil can't pick red. She's representing a different country, I'm assuming just so she can wear the red shorts.
Oh, that's petty. That's petty. Are you taking this personally?
Exactly.
You got to. You have to. Like, there's a little bit of like. Also, too, I'm not trying to go there, but like there is a little respecting. Like, dude, you're one out of 3 or 4 fighters in the whole organization that has a hair thing that matches their color. Like, you're pretty well known, right? Like, you're in the game, all right? You're in the UFC game. Like, you're a superstar, okay? So, like, for her to be like, hey, I want red. It's not even my country. She's just doing that so she can be red, so you can't be red.
Right, because she doesn't normally wear red. She almost always wears yellow, right?
I've seen her wear red once before when she fought Amanda Hebus. So I even went back after. I was like, has she ever done this before? Like, just to make sure. So I'm like, she has worn red once before. Her last fight, though, she wore, I want to say black against Angela Hill. I'm like, so I was looking at all the outfits after that. I was like,
I'm taking this personal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I posted it on my Instagram. I'm like, it's going to be her funeral, though. So I guess I'll wear black.
I love that. That's amazing. I got to say, Sean has a great comment here. He said, wear white and paint it red with her blood.
Wow. That's another good idea there.
That's pretty vicious. That's pretty vicious. Has 1% or one minor thought went through your head and be like, hey, I'm going to dye my hair black for this fight. I'm going to shock the world and come in all black and dominate. Have you thought about that at all? Or it's 100%?
Nope. The only thing that's changed is I was going to get my nails done red and gold, and now they're getting done black and red. I'm like, I just have to go with it.
Yeah.
I support it.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Kind of Halloween-y anyway. It works for this week.
I understand how much like bleaching it takes to be able to dye your hair red. Don't undo years.
No, Dave doesn't understand the damage I would do if I went black and then back to red.
And then had to bleach it again to dye it red. Yeah, no, don't do that to your poor hair.
I would go bald.
You could braid some black hair into your red. That might be kind of cool.
That
actually might be a good idea.
That would be fire.
Especially match your nails.
Yeah, cute. Exactly. I'm like, I just gotta like go into it now. I accepted I'm wearing black, and now I'm just going.
This is your villain era.
Yeah, exactly. Going into the villain era.
Also, before we get into UFC Edmonton, UFC 308, where all of our hearts broke for sure, including Gillian's. Probably the number one question I wanted to ask you. Now it's for like 2-3 days because you have became. I saw that you are a professional ESPN baseball analyst, and you know all the teams and who's going to win.
Oh, yeah, you saw that?
I did see it. So
I missed this. What is going on here?
Oh, Gillian is like, it's like ESPN and G is right there, and she now talks baseball, and she knows who's going to win the games.
Pre-training, pretty high. Gillian gets bombarded by Dean getting asked baseball questions and posted on Instagram is what it was.
Oh, that's amazing. I support that.
Here's the worst part. You were actually right with your answer. You literally nailed the answer.
I know. I know what I'm talking about. That's why I said I'm one of the top ESPN analysts.
Have you ever been to a baseball game?
Actually, yes, because I used to volunteer for the Humane Society when I was younger, and they would always do a bark in the park and have an adoption event with the dogs at the baseball park. So that's the only
very good reason to go to a baseball game.
That counts.
Yeah, so I've been to a lot of games.
Expert.
Exactly.
Yeah, Sean. So, G, I just said it right before you came on. Yeah, so G is on the main card 9 days from now. Next weekend's UFC Vegas 100 main events, Neil Magny. But yeah, G's on the main card. We at Fight Bananas will be doing a live watch along on the main card. Big reason, Gillian Robertson. I already got the artwork for it. I already got Fight Week Savage artwork. We are rolling right now for next week. We cannot wait. It's here. Like, G, like, we talked about it so much. We actually just had Randy Costa on beforehand. We talked to him so many times before his fight. I just got my plane and hotel reservations, everything from Biloxi coming up in November 15th. It's so crazy how it's like, you see the fight poster. It takes a long time, and now it's here. It is going to be here fight week. I guess, another camp kind of in the books. Anything different? It seems like, if I could say from afar, seems like maybe a little bit more striking on this camp. Is that right, wrong, indifferent?
I guess just in general, I want to include my last camp too, that I have been feeling more comfortable on my feet. Okay. So maybe in that element where I just feel like I do feel confident as an MMA fighter at this point. Like, I don't feel like I'm just a jiu-jitsu girl anymore, where if you look at me at 22 coming into the UFC, I very much just a jiu-jitsu girl, where it's like now I'm confident in my striking. I feel like not many girls are going to be able to keep up with my wrestling or jiu-jitsu, and my MMA just in general, the way I'm mixing it up, I feel like is really just elevating these last two camps. I really do feel like I've just it's like the trial years are over, you know? I'm like, these last couple camps, I just found the right rhythm, what I need, and I feel better and better each camp. This is probably, I want to say, the best I've ever felt, you know?
Wow. That's amazing. I got one more, then I'll take it away, and then we can talk about UFC 308 and Edmonton, stuff of that nature. Were you inspired? Have a couple weeks ago, Fight Bananas family, Grant Dawson takes the microphone, does one of the best post-fight speeches. You got Derek Lewis and Grant Dawson. They're like neck and neck. Were you inspired? Do you have something in your back pocket? You got something amazing, funny? You can talk about your significant other, about a dump. You can whatever you want. Do you have something in your back pocket for a post-fight speech?
I guess right now I don't. I have been thinking. I don't know. It's always something. It's something I always try to plan, but also in the moment, I feel like I never remember. Like
Okay.
completely goes out the window every time. But my boyfriend will be there, and he will be. I think he's the only person coming for me this time. So I'm like, he's gonna be there alone with the camera on him. The guy who doesn't have an Instagram, doesn't like things like that.
Is this at the Apex?
It's at the Apex.
Yeah, it's so awkward when the camera's right in your face there.
I'm like, I'm more worried about him during my fight than I am me.
Tell him to do the Ricky Bobby thing with his hands.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel at the Apex, because they're like right there. They're so close to you. Because at least at the big arenas, they don't know where you're sitting. You're way up in the crowd somewhere. But they're like right here. And so I'm always like, don't look at them. Just look forward. Do the thing. Like, it's super awkward.
Act like they're not there. No, I'm like that all the time. We had cameras come into our gym last week for to celebrate Alberto getting his contract on the Contender Series. So the UFC was there filming, so they were trying to get some content of me there while they were there as well, and I was just like trying to find the corner of the room to stand in, you know, like where can I be in the back?
Don't want to be here.
Exactly.
So uncomfortable to have the camera there. I feel for Dakota. I feel like she's like, PFL loves her, as they should. She's wonderful, but I feel like all the time she's like constantly just like, there's like a camera right here next to her, and she's just so like, yeah.
There's nothing more frustrating than when I was in the Tough House, and some days it's like you just can't get away from them, you know. They're always there. Anytime they hear a good conversation, the producer's like, go, 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 and the cameras are rushing in.
I'm gonna switch to my headphones real quick so you can't hear the guy working on my AC unit.
Oh, you're good. I don't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it? No. Okay, cool.
Yeah, whatever you want to. All right, G. We saw Chimaev absolutely dominate Whitaker in 2.5, 3 minutes. You texted me literally right in that moment happened. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I couldn't believe it. We talked about Ilya and Max a lot beforehand, and we all kind of were like, we think that's going to happen. We're hoping it's not, but we were thinking it. I did not think Chimaev was going to like run hot knife butter of Robert Whitaker, of all people. How crazy was that fight? Then we'll get into the main event.
Oh, you know, can't say I'm not like inspired in the next couple weeks, you know.
Okay.
I'm like, just such a dominant performance. He went out there, literally didn't give him space to breathe from the time the bell started. I think I saw a meme earlier. They were saying something about like Kazmat's first takedown of the round is probably one of the most unstoppable moves in MMA right now, because it was like 14 seconds in, 13 seconds in, 2 seconds in, whatever. He just shoots them so fast and gets his first takedown every single time. And then the way he was able to just control Robert, and it almost looked like Robert was just like waiting to weather the storm and get through it to then like capitalize, which I don't think is necessarily the strongest game plan. But it seemed like he didn't have like the urgency, I don't think, on the ground. He was just kind of like waiting for Khamzat to do his thing, and then just got in too deep too fast. And that teeth picture that's circulating is
brutal.
Have you ever, like, someone who rear naked chokes people for a living? It's like, hey, gee, like on your taxes, you don't even put mixed martial artist. You should write rear naked choker. And like, that's what you do. Have you ever got close to that, or have you ever done that to someone and really F them up and be like, whoa, like, I didn't know I had that?
Not like that. I will say that I heard that that was a previous injury that he had as well from the Dricus fight.
He said he's always had jaw teeth problems, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, there was probably some fragileness in his jaw, like prior to it, that just wasn't, I feel like he had a unique case, but I've never felt somebody's jaw crack like that. Definitely. I'm like, I feel like sometimes they give up the throat because you do have such heavy pressure on the jaw. Even when I got the choke on Rose Namajunas when we competed against each other.
Yeah.
When I first had the choke, it was on her jaw completely. And then she ended up giving me the neck because I just had good pressure on the jaw.
Yeah.
This is a great point.
So fast. Sorry, carry on.
No, great point. Elle, you're next. Great point. Yeah, my neck is still not right. It was 3 years ago, Pensacola. I put up like a 12-minute fight with G. It was a great session. Put up some rear. I had some good transitions, good grappling. I slid away, and then G finally got the submission. My neck is still not right. But Elle, take it away.
I was just saying, yeah, you can tell as somebody as tough as Robert Whitaker, how fast he tapped when he wasn't even on the neck. It was rough.
Oh, brutal.
Okay.
Brutal.
At first, watching the fight, I was like, did he just panic tap?
Yeah, it was weird, right?
He scared or something? And then once I saw the pictures after, I was like, no, he tapped for real.
No,
there's
fair.
a reason behind that. Yeah.
I would have done the same. For sure.
Yeah. I'm like, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna argue now.
Nuts.
What about that double spinning back fist?
We haven't talked about that at all. That's great
yeah.
that you brought that up. We haven't talked about that.
The whole card was
Absolutely
incredible, by the way.
Oh yeah. From top to bottom, the card really lived up to the hype, And that Char Bullet fight, though, I'm like, absolutely incredible. I saw a video too of him practicing that technique too. So to practice something so unique like that and then be able to land it, I feel like it's going to be like the next thing we see that everybody's
going to try it.
Yeah, everybody's going to be trying
doing it.
Exactly.
No, it's like, yeah, who I would think most of the time if you did that in practice, probably most coaches would be like, hey, let's not do that. That's pretty high risk. You're probably not going to land that. No, they were just drilling it ahead of time.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted a video of them drilling it, and they're like, this would never work in an MMA fight.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. He's incredible. Fareed Basharat felt that guy that missed by 10 pounds, looked great.
Yeah.
The first fight on the prelims was incredible. I actually want to know, I want to talk about it because I want to know how you scored that fight, G, because I know you always watch the prelims.
I missed a little bit of them because sparring was in the middle of the prelims.
That's
so
fair.
I watched the first two fights, then I went to sparring. But in the first fight, definitely not the best scoring on the UFC's part. I feel like the commentators were almost trying not to talk shit on the judges.
Yeah, they were letting them have it.
Yeah, it was like I feel like Paul Felder called himself back a couple times. He was like, maybe it's not okay. It's not okay.
It's not all right.
Yeah.
It's just it is scary the point that judging's at because it's almost every card we're seeing things like this now where it's fights that are just absurdly called the wrong way.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy. All right.
Oh no, not at all.
I think universally, I don't think there wasn't anyone that said, "Oh, Carlos Leal didn't win that fight." Everyone had him winning that fight. Crazy. All right, let's get to the main event. Ilia Topuria knocks out Max Holloway third round, and it was such a good fight. That's the one thing that I think has been lost on, and me and Elle talked about it a lot in the first hour of the show. How much Max had great moments, good back and forth. The calf kicks to me were adding up immensely. He had great stuff until it was over. And Ilia does that shot. I know it sounds wild and it's such a weak analogy, but he's like Poatan at featherweight. When he gets you, it's just over. There's just nothing else that can happen. Ilia Topuria defeats Max Holloway.
Yeah. I feel like the most impressive thing about Ilia is he's always in position. He's always staying in position, defensively aware. So it's Max wasn't able, he was able to pile up a lot of volume, but wasn't able to really get anything off clean on him, to get him really respecting him backing up a lot. And Ilia was just very patient and found his shots. And obviously, it was hard to watch, man.
The speed too. I was giving play-by-play which I don't usually do on the watch along because there were so many people in other countries that couldn't get the stream. So they're like, what's happening? So I'm trying to keep up with the fight. And when they enter into the pocket, the speed that they were throwing with and landing with every time they came together was just absurd to me. Like Ilya's hooks inside were terrifying. Like I could feel the power through my phone screen. Like it was just, gave me chills.
No, both those boys are just something special, you know? They're both Hall of Famers, you know? No matter, regardless of whatever the outcome of the fight, they're gonna be Hall of Famers. So I'd watch that fight 10 times, you know?
100%, yeah.
My question for both of you guys, do you think that fight will ever happen again? Do you think Max will work his way back up and fight Ilya for the featherweight championship again?
I don't see it like leaving that group of 3 right now, you know?
Sure.
The Volk, Holloway, Ilya. It's like, I think Diego's a little bit like too young in his career. I would like to see him have more fights before he challenged for the belt, but I don't know who else really goes up there.
Yeah, I could see Max. I can see Ilya doing the same thing with Max Holloway that Volk did, where Max beats everybody here.
Yeah.
We also have 2 totally I feel like we went through an era where there weren't a ton of really high level grapplers at 145, or at least wrestlers, specifically wrestlers. But now we have both Movsar and Aljamain Sterling kind of creeping up as well. And I think everybody forgets about them because they're not as exciting and flashy as Diego Lopez.
Sure.
Like, where do those 2 guys stack up in this crazy featherweight division right now?
It's just, I was going to say, Ilya's so talented all around. His jiu-jitsu is no joke either. The way he was able to handle Ryan Hall's leg lock games, it's like, even that, like, very high level, it was, I don't know, just all around Ilya is such a threat that makes me think that even, like, good wrestlers, good jiu-jitsu people are going to have a hard time. Yeah.
He has 0 holes, and he has like specialists of boxing. Like Poatan is, we all know he's amazing stand-up kickboxer, right? But like if he's on his back or on the ground, like we saw Jan kind of just lay and prey on him for a round. You're not doing that with Ilya Topuria. Like he has literally no holes. It's crazy.
He's also only 27 years old, which I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, mind blown. So good for so young.
I know.
And he's decently good looking. Like this guy has it all. Sucks. Come on, Ilya.
He's still short, okay? He's still short.
There you go.
My boyfriend and I were talking about all that this week, and we're like, you know, he really does have like the power to be a star power. And then my boyfriend's like, wait, how tall is he?
That's funny.
But it is so funny. Like everybody in my neighborhood, just like me going in the elevator, I've seen people were talking to me about it, or like one guy came in the elevator with the phone, the fights on his phone. It's like, it is really like attracting general population's attention, which I don't know. It's rare to see that with certain fighters. You know, you don't really see that since Connor.
Yeah, so that's good. That's really good to kind of hear that for sure. Yes, Dawson, you missed it. I had talked about it for 20 minutes. I had a rant on it, but G's
it's a very interesting rant. You should definitely go back and listen to it. He's correct. Dave is correct. It's Poatan.
G, do you have Poatan or Ilya Topuria as your fighter of the year?
Was Ilya's fight against Volk this year too?
Yeah.
He had 2. Poatan had 3 title defenses this year.
Oh.
I can see G is leading Ilya. I can see it in her face.
The wheels are turning.
It's just the people that Ilya did beat are the only thing that
I'm best wins. Dave and I are on the same page.
I totally agree and see that side of it, G. His 2 wins, I will argue, are the 2 best wins of any UFC fighter the whole year. Like anyone. I know Dricus beat Izzy. Give me the biggest fights of the year. Islam beat Dustin. Whatever you want to say, right? The Aspinall beat Curtis. Whatever fights you want to say. Bilal beat Leon. What Ilya did has the 2 best wins. Totally agree. My thing with Poatan, my biggest thing is his willingness to, hey, UFC 300 didn't have the main event. Hey, can you fight Jamal Hill? All right, I'll do it. And then how he does it. UFC 303 was supposed to, it was supposed to be Connor and member Chandler. That fight fell through. Literally, Alex was hurt in Australia. They called him, goes, all right, I'll do it. I saved you the 303. 307 had Juliana Pena and Rocky Pennington as the main event. Alex goes, guys, I'll save you once again. I'll do it. I can't get over it. Like, he gave us more. He saved our year. Saved it.
No, I'll definitely give you that, but I'm like, does that make his wins greater than like the Max and Volk win? I'm like,
it's a good point. It very well taken. I get it. It doesn't make it greater. I just think it makes it. I say it all the time. Like, I don't know how.
Man. He's a company man.
Like, no, my analogy is like if you run out of the house, there's a house that's burning. And you run out of the house with, pictures. Okay, that's great. But if you run out of the house with a puppy and a baby in your hand, like, you're doing more. I know maybe that analogy is horrible.
Dave's analogies have been absolutely wild. Here, how about I try and do one, Dave?
No, but my point is,
let's pretend the UFC is not fighting for a second. The UFC is just a regular office company. Who wins Employee of the Year?
Ooh,
Alex Pereira or Ilia Topuria? Ilia Topuria obviously did a lot of stuff, did the flashiest stuff, did a lot of stuff for him, but who did the most for the company?
Great
yeah,
point.
But is that what qualifies Fighter of the Year?
I don't know. I'm just saying if it was Employee of the Year, though, I think we'd agree it'd be Alex Pereira,
I agree with that. If it's Employee of the Year, Alex won.
Great point. That's actually a really good point. Great point. Man, we have our next guest in the green room. So, G, last thing with you. Like I said, 10 days, you're fighting. You're about to travel to Las Vegas. Dean Thomas, got your, boyfriend coming. How excited are you? How pumped are you? This is it. Big time fight. This is the run. This is the run Dean Thomas has been talking about. You've been talking about. We're in the run right now. How pumped for you? It's here. It's happening.
I've just felt like I've been ready for like weeks at this point. I'm just so ready to go. I could have had this fight a month ago and I would have been confident walking in the cage. The weight cut's going great. The fight camps went great. Everything's been honestly perfect to this point, besides for taking my color, but we'll talk about that later.
Love it. Well,
but
G,
I'm like, everything's like where it needs to be, and I'm just ready to go in there and get my hand raised next weekend.
Love it. I'm excited. I know Ella's excited. We are excited for you. Fight Bananas. That's it. We're not going to bother you anymore. Any communications coming from your end first. Like I said, I got a lot of artwork for you. I will send to you throughout the week and the weekend. Cannot wait. Hopefully we'll talk next Saturday night after first round submission win.
I'll see you guys then.
Can't wait.
Good, appreciate you. Have a good week.
You too.
The Savage one, Gillian, the Savage Robertson. Dude, our next guest is already in the green room. We're not going to waste any time because we know Elle has to run out early and she desperately wants to talk. Our next guest, first time ever being on the show, Julia Budd coming on the show. Boom.
Hello.
Hey, guys. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. First random question before we get into a lot of stuff. Were you in Las Vegas for a big boxing fight? Was it for Tank Davis fight? Were you there in Las Vegas?
I wasn't there.
Okay. All right.
I wish I was.
No, I thought I saw you. I was doing some media stuff and I thought I saw you. I almost ran to say hi to you, but like you went another way and I was like, no, it was all good. But
well, it wasn't her, so.
Yep. There you go. So how's life, Julia? How's everything going?
It's been going really well. Yeah. Hopefully I'll have some fight news in the next couple days for December. So
let's go. That's awesome. Where are you joining us from, by the way?
From my home on the Sunshine Coast, like just outside of Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that's amazing. I want to visit that place desperately. And then look at you. Your home looks like a amazing boxing gym. It looks like
we have a gym in our house. So yeah. We're always training basically. We got this done like in 2020 when all the gyms were shut down and we kind of built it and
And can you give us the view of let's see the home gym?
Yeah,
beautiful.
little workout area, and then kind of like some mat space, enough mat space, bags. So yeah,
incredible.
I saw the TV was above it. Do you watch fights there in the gym area?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, basically like study, and, film stuff.
I'm in a closet. I got some really cool pictures, and I'm super jealous. Julio definitely wins with the background for sure, El, for sure. We're nobodies, El. You got a board with mediocre handwriting on it. I love it. All right, Julia, back to you. I'm sorry, we're off the rails a little bit right now. You said December. What's happening in December that people
maybe bare knuckle. So yeah, just that out. I was supposed to fight in October on their Spain event, but I had some issues with my visa, so it kind of held me up a little bit. But hopefully December.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Back up so you're jumping into bare knuckle FC?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
100% sure. The one last I heard about the 145 division in Bellator, well, Pacheco and Cyborg just had like an amazing fight, but I'm not sure what they're doing with the 145 pound, and I kind of been on the waiting to hear or hoping for a fight with them for a while, and so we'll see.
Can I throw something out there for you? The my great boss right there, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. I'm in 2 weeks going to Biloxi. I work for Gamebred Bare Knuckle MMA, so you can have your jits. You can on the ground and pound. We can Julia Budd that we all know and love. Have you talked to them about maybe sliding into that?
I haven't actually. I watched some of their fights, but like I'd be willing. At this point, I've been itching for a fight. I've been out since like June of last year.
June 16th.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell like you said, you've been sitting, you've been waiting. Was this kind of because of the merger for you? What kind of went down that has kept you waiting on the ropes here?
Well, I was supposed to fight Kayla last year on, I think the November card that they had, the last card. And that didn't end up happening due to like some contract issues. And so I prepared for that fight like fully, and then that kind of fell through. So I was obviously like, I had a full camp. I was ready to go for that. And so that's kind of was like, that's why I was out of that fight. And then after the merger, it was kind of up in the air about what was going to happen last year for the 145ers. They cut the division for the season. So they put in the 145ers versus the 145ers. So that was I kind of found that out in March. And then I was just out waiting, like preparing to hopefully fight on one of their like backup fights, like be a backup for one of their 145 pound girls that were fighting. And nobody kind of fell out for that like everybody fought. So, and then the ones that did like miss weight or had those kind of issues were like 1 day before, 2 days before.
So I do have a question. I wonder if you can enlighten this on me on the weight misses. So do you know how it works within the tournament structure? Because what I thought would happen, she's already shaking her head. So I think you know where I'm going. What I thought would happen, because I was at an event, I can't remember which one it was, but somebody missed weight and there was an alternate there. So I was like, oh, okay, the alternate who's made weight is going into the tournament, right? And then that didn't happen. So I was like, so why is the alternate there? What is the protocol for weight misses?
So in 2022, I had my 155 pound debut, like kind of making weight. That's a weight class above mine. And
I was there.
It was in Texas or something, but I weighed in and there's an alternate there, and my opponent missed weight by like 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, we'll fight the alternate, obviously, because 7 pounds is pretty and this class, like I wasn't cutting weight to make 155. So I was like, and then we're like, what did she weigh in it for fight week? Because we all get checked and they were like 180. And I was like, man.
For a woman?
That's
a lot of weight to lose.
And it was like, no, not happening. You got to fight. It's either this fight or nothing. And we're like, what? Like, I thought that's why there was an alternate there. And then I think after that rules changed. So I'm not sure, but that was pretty that was a huge size difference for me. I was like, whoa. Right. And then I ended up breaking my orbital, getting my orbital broke in the first round of that. So then I was out of that season. So I couldn't fight my next fight actually, which kind of sucked. So I don't know what it is with the weight misses, but I think I don't know. It depends who you know.
The show I saw this happen at was just this season. So I don't think they changed it.
Okay.
To answer your point there.
Yeah. That amount of a weight miss is there's no chance you're allowed to fight.
Right. And I don't know if you remember. So I was there at that event. I was there. I talked to you beforehand. You've always been, by the way, super, super nice to me and very, very pleasant to be around. And it's fight week and weight cut and all that stuff. And some fighters are and aren't and all that. You've always been great to us. So first of all, kudos to that. We appreciate you. You've always been awesome. But I remember that. And I'm a nice, decent guy. So I have some good ties there, and I'm talking with some of the people, and I know Ray and all this stuff. And I thought it was crazy, especially your thing. And they're like, yeah, they're just going to do it. I'm like, what do you mean? You can't do that. You have this alternate 7 pounds is crazy.
They're like, nope, it's either that doesn't matter. We're like, well, somebody else already weighed in on weight to be the alternate. I think it was a little bit whatever. I had to let it go. That one really pissed me off. So I was it didn't even feel like you tried to make weight. It was right. It's an advantage, and it is an advantage in our sport. And obviously my game plan was to wrestle, and that's a pretty huge, but I'm only pissed off that I didn't beat her.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to advance in the tournament if you miss weight. You wouldn't be eligible for a title if you missed weight. So I agree with you.
So I not to try to we're not that gotcha company. We are definitely not. We're I think a fan friendly company, a fighter friendly company. Everyone that works with us are all fighters and are still working. We respect and love everyone in the industry. But if I could just say hearing from you, it seems like you are kind of done or cutting ties with whatever that entity is with PFL and Bellator. Is that fair to say?
No, because they're still I could say it's still my number one choice. When it comes to, for sure, with my weight class, we're limited at 145 of where we can.
Yeah.
And I definitely would love to fight with them again, obviously, because I'd love to have a Cyborg rematch. I'd love to fight Pacheco again. I'd love to fight any of those girls, but it's always our weight class is always kind of told there's just not enough depth for the 145 pounds. And it's come on. I would say that if you look at who's fought at 145 in women's MMA, these have been some of the most groundbreaking fights for, Ronda, it was 145, Amanda, Cyborg. We have a lot of the big names that kind of helped put women's MMA on the map. So sure. We always get the shaft when it's there's just not enough talent pool in this division to, make it work. And I think a lot of so I don't know. We'll see what happens next year, but we always get told we don't know what even's happening with this division. So
as an atomweight, I understand your plight very much.
Yeah, there you go. So what it looks like they might be bringing in the atomweights, right? So
it's not the first time Dana said that. I'm not holding my breath. But on that same note, a lot of people, we're looking at Kayla Harrison. We're there's absolutely, she was massive at lightweight. There's no way she's ever making 135. Has that, I know you haven't made 135 in your career, but have you considered it? And have you thought that maybe it's a possibility?
Yeah, we definitely tried before, for Strikeforce, because I was one of the first fights at 145 but when they first bought, or the UFC or Zuffa still bought Strikeforce. So I fought and they cut whoever couldn't make 135. So I tried for 8 months and it just wasn't healthy for me. I don't know. And 135 is I made 139 and it was brutal. So it was months and months of dieting and then a horrible weight cut. And I just was you know what? I don't feel good at this. And, 145 is just a perfect amount of weight to cut, and with me being really disciplined even. So yeah, I don't know.
I assume a couple weeks ago, a big fight kind of in your bracket. You said both their names already. 2 fights that you fought with Cyborg and Pacheco. Did you watch the fight? Were you hoping one way or another? Did it go? Would it be better for you personally in the future? I just want your take on when Cyborg and Pacheco fought and they won, and when Cyborg won.
So I thought what like, first of all, just like shows like her experience, Cyborg's experience.
Yeah.
Oh, like even to have both those be just totally sliced up right away and get through that fight. And she did great. I was kind of rooting for her because I feel like I beat Pacheco and I felt like I got robbed in that decision, but
sure,
whatever, like leaving it to the judges. I could have done some things differently. And but yeah, I was rooting for Cyborg. I just thought that it was like her and I wanted so I thought it was a great fight, and I thought like Pacheco's dangerous the whole way through. Like
she was
were pretty tight. I was like, oh my god, like and then just but I thought Cyborg just showed like a complete mixed martial arts game and beat her with her wrestling. Like some of her takedowns was beautiful, and
and with that, like, has PFL or Bellator, or even not even that, has anyone else ever reached out to you? Like, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I'm giving you too many compliments. I feel like compliments are good. Anytime we've talked or I've heard you talk, like, you're very good communicating, especially communicating what you are seeing, like MMA stuff that other people are not seeing, novice people. Have they talked to you about, especially that fight? Like, you would have been a great person to be out there and kind of give your take on the fight and what they were seeing and what was going to happen, and even post fight. Have they ever talked to you about kind of doing that side of it, this side of it, like the analyst side and being that?
No, not really. Like they haven't asked me for that, but obviously I'd be willing. Like I just really, I've been begging to get back in there. Like I've been begging Mike Kogan. I'm like, man, like let me fight. Like, and he's like, they're just so full. Bellator's events got cut down by however many. They're the only ones doing the 145-pound fights, women's fights. But I mean, it's like fair. It feels a little bit like whoever the favorite, I don't want to say manager and fighters are that get the slots, but I don't think I'm, I think it's not just being a woman fighter, but it's like, I just don't think that we're like on the top of the priority list of who's getting the main fights on those cards. Like you look at a Bellator card and you're like, come on, like I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of a theme there of who's getting the slots and the fights and who's the main priorities and who's kind of pushed down. And
it's a very full roster, obviously. I'm sure you're not the only one waiting. Yeah.
And talking to Cyborg, they said they were begging to get on the whole year, and they finally made it on one of the cards. So there you go. That's their champ. Right? If the champ's big.
And lately we've been very, as a company, Fight Fans, we've been very pro PFL for a couple of years. Like I said, we've been to a lot of events, and they take good care of us, and it's like that. But then just recently, it's just, we just have to be honest, and just like, it just seems they're in a bad funk, and how they communicate with other fighters and how stuff's going. It's just like, we've just been very, Elle and I both have been just very upfront of like, hey, it's just something's happened. Like something is happening that's not good for fighters. And of course that rubs us the wrong way. So it's, I don't know. We wish them the best because we want another brand. It's important for the industry.
It's bad for the sport to only have the UFC. It's bad for the sport.
Yeah, I agree, obviously. And obviously it's been like tough. I've been frustrated, but I've just had to keep training and keep evolving, because I know when the chance does come, I don't want to be like, oh, I was just pissed off for the entire year and not actually working. Right. So yeah, definitely. If you're doing the game bread, throw my
not even that. I'm gonna, Julie, when we get off air, I'm gonna message you the number that you need to the head guy. Yeah. I'm going to be out there November 15th, our next show. We just had Randy Costa on. Randy Costa and Brandon Davis. 11 UFC veterans are fighting on this card. Kevin Lee's on the card. It's a stacked card. It's awesome. They've been so great to me. I work for them. Like I said, I do their post-fight stuff and their the press conferences and all. It's great. They take great care of us.
Awesome. Yeah, that's here. Like, so I'd definitely be willing to do that for sure, because I'm just sick of waiting, and going to bare knuckle boxing, I'm like, okay, like I've just worked for like the last year and a half mainly on my wrestling and ground. And so I'm like, okay, this is just a bit of a transition. Obviously, I mean, MMA is as close as it gets to bare knuckle anyways. Like we have a little bit of padding, but
no, and that's what it's so funny you said that. That's where, so when this kind of came to be, was it's been like a year and a half. They've had 8 events, and everyone, I talked to everyone beforehand and afterhand, the winners and the losers. And it's literally all the rules. It's in an octagon. Every rule is the UFC. It's just no gloves. And it's like, as close as you can get. It's the UFC just without the gloves. And the fights have been amazing, but people don't realize how much more grapple and jits and wrestling there has been, because of course, when you get jabbed in the face, maybe a little bit with no gloves, it's like, whoa, that's a little bit different. I'm shooting now. I'm taking my shot. So.
Yeah,
it's been wild.
And it's easier to grapple too.
Easier to grapple.
Chokes in, no gloves in the way. Love that.
Yeah. So maybe I'll be doing a little bit of everything.
Love it.
Well,
Julie, it's been awesome. Like I said, we've talked a couple times at the events. We've never had you on the show. Appreciate your time. Is there anything else, sponsors or anything that's happening that you would want to get off your chest or talk about?
Not so much. No, like just thanks for having me on, and I'll definitely be seeing you at an event soon.
Cool. Likewise. We appreciate you. You've been nothing but awesome to us. So we appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
Thanks, Julia.
There you go, Julia Budd. Dude, that was awesome. Absolute stud.
Yeah, she's great. I hope she gets some fight news soon. I would love to see her back in there. I didn't realize it had been so freaking long.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
You hear about it from some of the UFC fighters, and it's like they got a goddamn card every week, El. Like literally 3 out of, and then every.
I can't imagine what it's like when you have a roster that size and so few events. Gotta be a mess.
Also, too, for the super fights, they had like their 5 big fights, and then all the undercards were mostly guys from overseas because they were in Saudi Arabia. This championship fight night thing. Have you seen who's on the prelims? No. Oh. So they have a card that's coming up, and we don't know who the prelims are.
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, it might be up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet either?
No, I don't know they exist.
Oh. I don't know, Dave.
Crazy.
I don't know. Here, I'm gonna go to PFL's Instagram right now. Let's see.
Okay. After that, I know. Don't you have to leave?
I've got like 3 minutes.
Okay. This is it. 3 minutes. Then we'll close the show, guys.
So
Great show.
They have a poster, kind of.
Okay. Nice.
Well, it's like a video, and the poster is the cover photo.
Okay.
But that's it. That is all. That's it. That's the only thing they've got.
So who are the 6 championship fights?
Obviously, you've got Loughnane and I forgot the other guy's name because his name's not on the poster. You have Dakota fighting Tyler Santos. Who else is on here?
Nice.
Maga is fighting. I forgot his name too. Okay. You have Dovlet fighting Impa.
Ooh,
I can't even click on the poster and look at it. It's like it's the cover photo for their pinned post, but I can't even I have to look at it when it's like a tiny thumbnail. I can't even see the whole thing.
Do they have the heavyweight in the tournament?
Yeah, they have. Don't they have?
I thought, is Francis the heavyweight champion?
No, he's not in the tournament. This is the tournament finals.
Oh, so they have a tournament heavyweight champion and then heavyweight champion.
Which I don't. Did they do it? No, they did. They did heavyweights this year.
Yeah, they did heavyweights. You were there live in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, no, they did heavyweights this year.
Yep.
Hang on, let's see. Let's see if it's on PFL's website.
Okay. What's their website?
Professional Fighters League. I think it's just PFL MMA. PFLMMA.com. PFLMMA.com. Let's see what the website says. I shouldn't have to do this much research. You know what I can do? I can Google. I can literally, my favorite thing about the UFC is that I literally just type UFC schedule into my Google, and it doesn't even take me to another website. On Google, I get UFC 308, UFC Fight Night, Albazi versus Moreno, and I can just scroll over and I can look at every single fight. It's the best. The best. unifying belt match for heavyweight. It's not, though. It's a totally separate tournament structure.
And real quick, this is Thomas Williams. I hope we can internet shame you. A young lady who literally fights for a living. I think she has a significant other. I will fight you mud wrestling. Like, dude, that woman would destroy you, Thomas Williams, and you're a scumbag. There you go. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Dave is coming for blood today, guys.
Dude, no scumbags allowed here in Fight Bananas. All right, guys. Elle, you gotta get to your next thing.
Not good enough. I can't even pull up the PFL website. So
yeah, no, maybe the PFL they don't have their server good, and that's why we can't look it up.
I think this one's on me. I'm gonna take full responsibility. I'm gonna answer Dawson's question. I'm gonna go. It's not an interim belt because they're two totally different champions. So they have a Bellator champion. They have like a super fight champion, which is like the PFL tournament that they did with Johnny and Impa fought each other. But that didn't make Impa not tournament champion when he lost to Johnny. And then they had Nemkov, who was fighting in the 205 tournament, fight for a heavyweight belt the same night that they had Ryan Bader and Renan Ferreira fight for another heavyweight belt. I feel like we need to have like a, the guys that are like into like a crazy conspiracy theory and they go nuts and their houses are just covered in string. I need a PFL board. That's what I'm going to have for you guys next week. I'm going to connect string. I'm going to like go all over with like thumbtacks. It's going to get crazy. All right.
If you work for an Instagram MMA account, they'll send you whatever they want. So.
All right.
All right. You're the absolute best. We appreciate you. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to have 5 more minutes, but we want you off the show. You got to go do your next thing. All right. You keep on saving the world. Tell Grant we said hi. We're going to do a card break next week or before November. I got 2 boxes right there.
Let's go. He will be very excited.
There you go. Elle, you're the absolute best. Talk to you soon. Elle Dawson, guys. She is the fight of Fight Bananas. All right. So real quick, guys. Look at these. I got 3 Grant Dawson rookie cards in the mail. We just got these. Look at this. A signed Grant Dawson sign. We got that. That's here. These ones are the giveaways. We're already giving these away. Chimaev and Ankalaev. Those are the last 2 I got to mail out. We're mailing those out. All you have to do, all these cards are free. We mail them out. All you have to do is sub our YouTube channel, Fight Bananas Official. And just if you sub us, we'll send out any cards to you. But real quick, last thing. Where is it? I got one new one I wanted to give away. Oh, here it is. There it is. She's fighting this weekend. Rose Namajunas, giving it away. All you have to do is sub this YouTube channel, and it's yours. Just DM Fight Bananas or myself. I'm at Dave Van Auken. Facebook, Instagram, any way to contact us. Sub the YouTube channel. We're mailing out the Rose Namajunas card so you can have it by Saturday, by the fight night. And that's it. There we go. Guys. Oh, there you go, Dawson. Got the roses. I love it. UFC Edmonton is this weekend. Stack card. Brandon Morano, one of the best flyweights of all time, is back. You got to love that. Amir Abazi could be the next title challenger. Mike Malot's on the card. Mike Malott talked to Fight Bananas, James Lynch, and Fight Bananas last week. So if you haven't seen that interview, go check that out. Mike Malott. But great show, guys. Appreciate Randy Costa. Appreciate Gillian the Savage Robertson. Last time we'll talk to her before fight night. And Julia Budd. First time ever talking to Julia Budd on the show. So great show. Like always, guys, Game Bread Bare Knuckle, November 15th. Make sure you go get your tickets. Tickets at Ticketmaster, Biloxi, Mississippi. Or if not, go sub the Game Bread Bare Knuckle MMA channel. That will be there. And real quick, I was commentary on Island Fights 85 this past weekend. Pearl Gonzalez and myself. If you haven't seen it or what, they had 6 pro fights on the card. A female fight, Kayla Stricker, who's now 2-0. There's already contender series talk. This girl is an absolute savage. Very, very good fighter. Cam Bennett won his professional debut. So shout out to them. Cam was just on the show last week. So if you haven't saw that, go check that out. Free, absolutely free on the Island Fights YouTube channel. And go check out Free Fights. Guys, I'm out of here. We're done for the day. Guys, enjoy Halloween. Big holiday for our family. We love it. We have friends and family over. We'll have 50 people over the house. Pizza and candy and friends and laughter. It's what we do here. But hopefully you enjoyed UFC 308. Hopefully you enjoyed Island fights. Game Bred Bare Knuckles coming up. We got Edmonton coming up, and then UFC Vegas 100 in 2 weeks. So, guys, enjoy. We'll talk to everyone soon. Like I said, sub the Ben and Banaz. No, man, we're not doing Ben and Banaz. We're kind of slowing down on that. That will come back. I promise, Sean, it will come back. I know, and a lot of people said we might like incorporate it more in this show. So, you know, just lives are different right now. We have we're in soccer season, so I'm pretty busy on Wednesday nights and stuff of that nature. Real quick, guys, look, it's still got the sticker. Should I give this hat away next week free? Get this hat. I can even get, guys, if you want, I can get Randy Costa sign it, Brandon Davis sign it, maybe even George Masvidal sign himself. Should I get it brand new, never been worn? Should we give this away? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Next week, Game Bred Bare Knuckle. It's going to be a big one. Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Anything about the hat, let me know. We love giving stuff away, man. It's what we do here. We appreciate you guys so damn much. If it wasn't for you guys watching, listening, subscribing, sharing, we wouldn't be here. So we appreciate it. Guys, we'll see everyone at least next Tuesday, if not Friday, for MMA Weekly Roundup. So keep your eyes open on that. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy. We'll see you guys later.